The year was 1957. Coatbridge, a town forged in the fires of industry, wore a cloak of gray. Coal dust settled on the streets, a gritty reminder of the lifeblood that pulsed beneath. Life was tough, but there was a stoic warmth in the close-knit community. Children played freely, their laughter echoing in the narrow lanes. But on a bleak February day, a shadow fell over Coatbridge, a shadow that would linger for decades to come. Moira Anderson, a bright, vivacious girl of 12, vanished without a trace. One moment she was running errands, her laughter trailing behind her, the next she was gone. The air, thick with coal dust, now hung heavy with fear and uncertainty. Whispers snaked through the town, replacing the carefree chatter. Moira's disappearance ripped a hole in the fabric of Coatbridge, leaving a void that could never be filled. The close-knit community, once a source of strength, now felt vulnerable, exposed. The boogeyman, once a figment of childhood nightmares, had become terrifyingly real. Moira's story became a chilling parable, a cautionary tale whispered from parent to child. The carefree days were gone, replaced by a pervasive sense of unease. The shadow of Moira's disappearance stretched long and dark, staining the very soul of Coatbridge. Saturday, February 23, 1957, dawned like any other winter day in Coatbridge. A thin layer of frost clung to the rooftops, and a biting wind whipped through the streets. Inside the Anderson home, Moira, a lively girl with a mischievous glint in her eyes, stirred from sleep. It was a day for errands, a day like any other. Little did anyone know, it would be a day etched in tragedy. Around midday, Moira set off to the local cooperative store, her red tartan scarf pulled tight against the chill. She was a familiar sight, her laughter echoing through the streets. She stopped to chat with a friend, her words swallowed by the wind, her smile a fleeting image. Then she was gone, swallowed by the grayness of the day. The errand, a mundane act, became her last known movement. The day, ordinary in its beginning, ended in chilling silence. Among the residents of Coatbridge was a man named Alexander Garshaw, a bus driver whose path often crossed with Moira's. He was a shadowy figure, known for his gruff demeanor and unsettling gaze. Rumors swirled around him, whispers of a dark past, a penchant for young girls. He was a man who moved in the periphery, his presence a source of unease. On that fateful Saturday, Garshaw's bus route took him through the heart of Coatbridge, his path intersecting with Moira's last known steps. The chilling coincidence, a thread in the tapestry of the day, would forever link him to the vanished girl. Alexander Garshaw, the bus driver with the haunted eyes, quickly became the focal point of the investigation. His past, shrouded in whispers and innuendo, painted a disturbing picture. Previous accusations of sexual misconduct with young girls hung over him like a shroud. The rumors, once dismissed as idle gossip, now took on a sinister weight. He was a man who knew the streets of Coatbridge, a man who could easily slip into the shadows. The police questioned Garshaw, their suspicions growing with every evasive answer. He denied any involvement in Moira's disappearance, his words laced with a nervous tremor. His alibi, flimsy and riddled with inconsistencies, crumbled under scrutiny. He was a man caught in a web of his own making, his denials ringing hollow in the face of mounting evidence. The bus driver, once a mere figure in the background, now stood in the harsh glare of the spotlight. Despite the mounting suspicions, concrete evidence remained elusive. Garshaw, a cunning adversary, had covered his tracks well. The investigation, hampered by the limitations of the time, struggled to piece together the puzzle. The missing pieces, like whispers in the wind, taunted the investigators. Garshaw, a master of deception, held the key to the mystery, but the lock remained stubbornly sealed. The shadow of suspicion, long and dark, fell squarely on the bus driver, but the truth remained tantalizingly out of reach. The news of Moira's disappearance spread like wildfire through the close-knit community. Fear, raw and palpable, gripped the hearts of parents. The streets, once alive with children's laughter, fell silent. Doors that were once left open were now bolted shut. The shadow of Moira's absence loomed large, casting a pall over the once familiar landscape. The community, bound by a shared sense of loss and desperation, rallied together. Hundreds of volunteers, their faces etched with worry, combed the streets, fields, and abandoned buildings. Every nook and cranny was searched, every shadow scrutinized. The sound of their footsteps, A symphony of hope and despair echoed through the empty streets. Each passing hour deepened the mystery, fueling the collective determination to find Moira. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, yet Moira remained missing. The initial fervor of the search waned, but the hope, though flickering, refused to be extinguished. The community, battered but not broken, clung to the belief that Moira would be found. Ribbons, faded but still tied to lampposts, served as silent reminders of the missing girl. The collective grief, a heavy weight on the hearts of Coatbridge, became a catalyst for unity, a shared vow that Moira would never be forgotten.